Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, Jared. How are you?
I'm good. Before we started recording, Jamie said she had a question, but she wanted to wait
I do.
until apparently I'm cornered,
I do.
I guess. But what's your question?
Okay, so here's my question for you.
Okay.
What what Disney era, what era of Disney would you like to go back if you had like a time machine?
90s. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought are you done?
I meant like for Disney World. If you could go back to Disney World in any time period between, 71 to now, you would choose the 90s?
Yeah.
And why?
Well, I mean, I don't know. 90s and early 2000s, I think, were like when it was really, really good. I didn't go much during that time, but from what you have said and others have said and things I've read, I feel like it was a nice time, but it wasn't insanely crowded.
True.
You had a lot of the, Eisner was the CEO, so we're doing a lot of building and a lot of extra stuff. And I feel like that would have been a great time to go. And I didn't experience it really. I think I went when I was in 8th grade the first time. So that would have been like,
but you're a teenage boy and you just see things differently.
Like 98-ish, something around there. So, yeah, I mean, probably around that time, I would say. But
okay.
What would you say around that time?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would say early 90s, mid 90s. We went 3 times in 1994. So I remember that year fondly.
Yeah.
And then, I think I was 10. And it was a great year. Like Wilderness Lodge opened and we stayed there like 2 months after it opened or a month after it opened. Let's see. There were a bunch of new movies coming out like Aladdin had come out already. Beauty and the Beast. I think Lion King was about to come out. Like it was just like a really like great time to be a Disney fan and to be a Disney child, basically. Just all this great stuff, and you still had. I don't think you had Fast Pass yet. I don't think
that wasn't until like 2004 or 6, I think.
Really? Okay, because I think I know there wasn't Fast Pass for a while when I was younger. So it was just standby and even with that and like the parks weren't super busy and I mean like it was just.
Oh, sorry. I'm way off. It was
great.
1999. I don't know why I thought it was 2006. I don't know why I thought that. Anyways.
Maybe that's when it went to Fast Pass Plus because there was regular Fast Pass.
That may have been.
And then it was Fast Pass Plus.
Is that what I was thinking?
I don't know. It's okay. We don't have to do it right now.
I'm just looking.
Okay.
Yeah, it may have been something like that. I mean, I didn't experience Fast Pass at all when I was a kid. So, yeah. By the way, did you hear there's a Marvel rumor, which we're not going to really talk about much in the show, but did you hear the rumor that Taylor Swift might be in Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh, really? Like as a cameo?
So there's a character not part of the X-Men, but in that universe called I believe it's Dazzler.
Okay.
That is a pop star with mutant powers.
Oh,
which
okay.
is actually kind of fitting if they did cast her. Plus, you have Ryan Reynolds, who his wife is like best friends with her. So the rumors are that she is going to be in the Deadpool Wolverine movie, which I wouldn't be surprised because if they put her in there, I already think that movie will do pretty good. I think if she's in it, it very well could make $1 billion. It's very possible if she's in it and they promote it that way.
Oh, she has such star power.
She has so much star power.
She does. I mean,
just the way you said it,
that's great. Awesome.
No,
I don't really know if that has any credence to it.
I think they probably will do it if I were to guess because I think the MCU is a little, I could see them doing it, but we'll see. But that was the latest thing I read today. I was like, no.
Great.
And fair enough. I mean, I don't know. I remember Taylor Swift more when she was a country singer that I listened to anything, but I would say it's probably it's not a bad idea on their part.
Well,
if you're trying to draw tickets in.
Speaking of Marvel, remind me, when did WandaVision come out?
Like
2021?
2021 or 20
January 2021?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So 2026, 5 years later, we're finally going to get a Vision series.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm like, oh, all right, because we just don't know what's going on with Vision.
He's been hanging out for a while. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it.
Don't worry about what he's been doing.
I thought that was interesting. I was like, okay, well, I guess we're getting into it now. So there you go.
But anyways, we're going to talk about, we've got stuff, things we're going to talk about in the parks, including the changes to the DAS system have gone into effect.
They sure
so
have.
if you're looking to maybe utilize that or whatever on your next trip, we're going to go over all of the details as they stand now and sort of some of the, I guess, reactions to it and all that stuff. Plus, we're going to talk about, there's been a lot of discounts announced, like not only for Disney, but also like, looking at Universal, but we're going to talk about reasons you should maybe look at booking a trip this summer, given there's a lot of discounts and it might be a good time to go. And even the crowds may be a little lower, but we're going to go over some reasons why it could be a good time to book this summer. And some deals you might be able to get if you are looking. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get to the news, just want to remind everybody, if you're listening or watching us, on YouTube over at CTM Podcast, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you wouldn't mind. And if you're listening to us on just good old trusty audio podcast form,
good old trusty,
good old reliable podcast, we greatly appreciate that. Just please subscribe and leave us a review because we would greatly appreciate it. And of course, if you want even more content, you want to contribute to the show, if you want discounts on merch, CTM Apparel, 1901 Candle Company products, you should look at joining Club 32. And that's our private group where we have, like we said, additional content. We have a private podcast feed. So we've got Cool Kids Kitchen live streams where we once a month we make a Disney dish or Universal, whatever, something themed dish we make on a live stream. It usually turns out pretty good. Last time it turned out really good. We made hummingbird cake. Turned out really well.
It was really good.
We also have the Club 32 show where every Tuesday we hang out and just chat with everybody about whatever. We also doing trivia on those nights as well, which has been a lot of fun. We also have the music loops on the podcast feed. We're gonna start in a couple weeks the Clubhouse, which we're gonna have some members of Club 32 join on a monthly episode to kind of talk about whatever. We'll probably get some also member questions and topics and things of that nature. So we'll do that. Like we have music loops, all sorts of things on the podcast feed. So if you're looking to join there, you can go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options, and you can even do a free trial if you want to check that out. And there's also like a Facebook group. And we have meetups, all sorts of things. So it's a really great group there. So again, ctmvip.com is where you go for that. So,
okay.
All right. Well, let's get to our first news story, which I will say I have a little, I was playing with some toys here. When I get to a part of the show where I think it might have a little jingle to play for you guys.
Okay.
We'll see. And maybe new poll time music. Oh, anyways, we'll see. But all right, the first news story we have is about the DAS system, which is the Disney Disability Access Service, and the changes we talked about a few weeks ago. The changes were going to happen. They have now gone into effect. So we're going to just go over exactly what the website says.
Yes.
What Disney says about it. And then, if you're looking at this could impact your trip. More than likely, you'll probably, after we go through this, figure out if it is going to impact you or not, how you can apply for it, all that stuff like that. So what is the verbiage from the website, Jamie?
Okay, so the website says, this is verbatim, DAS is intended to accommodate only those guests who, due to a developmental disability like autism or similar disorder, are unable to wait in a conventional queue for an extended period of time. And here are some changes that have taken place within the DAS, and we'll address some other changes as well after we do these. But so in-person registration no longer available. You have to do it virtual chat with a guest relations cast member. It's valid for 120 days or length of ticket validity, whichever is shorter. Previously, it was 30 days or when a new ticket was required. DAS advanced planning option to select up to 2 attractions before arriving is no longer a thing. You cannot do that anymore. You can, so it's intended to accommodate a small percentage of guests who, due to developmental disability like autism or similar, are unable to wait in a queue. So they said that again because they really want to solidify that into your brain.
They're trying to nail that point home.
Yeah, they're using Inspire Health Alliance professionals to help cast members if they need to determine eligibility for accommodations to see if they qualify. Disney is adding more cast members and investing in specialized training to help them identify and better understand tools and options based on their needs. So this rolled out on Monday, and immediately the vibe was super like Disney's going, I'm just going to say Disney's going scorched earth. Meaning it used to be where everybody was getting a DAS and, it was just like it was undefined terms about who qualifies. So there was just a ton of people, and they were talking about abuse within the system was the reason they're addressing this. And it seems like now there's just a very, very, very tiny percentage of the people that actually qualify. Did you see anything about, like, did you look around and see what people were saying too? Because I know I did.
I've seen a lot of things. I've seen some very interesting takes. When they announced this, it was kind of like I knew it was almost like a ticking time bomb of when this was implemented. There was going to be basically there's just going to be a lot of people mad and angry. And
yes,
the thing that you have to remember with this is the reason they're making this change. First off, they were so vague in the beginning with this entire system to begin with, and it had always been that way. Once they introduced Genie Plus, and we had talked about in the last episode on this, all of a sudden you saw this uptick in DAS happen with that because you have this paid version, and essentially, Disney even admitted there was a lot of fraud going on with DAS, and they've known about this for a while. Like I've talked to cast members that they have known basically how many people are getting in. They know that there's abuse going on with this.
Yes.
So it likens me to like if you were ever a substitute teacher and you started out like too soft on people. The only way you were ever going to like potentially win back a class is just to go completely the other way, like hardcore, like, we're not going to let anything slide. I kind of feel like that may be what they're doing here because they understood they have to correct this. And I think they also understood no matter if, and I think this is true, even if they made a few changes or they made all these changes, I think the amount of people being upset would probably be about the same.
You think so?
I think probably because the thing that, there was, again, it's a tricky situation. And a lot of people are going to get mad at us even talking about it the way we are. Now, I don't have any experience with DAS system, so I can't speak to it.
Right.
We know people that have, but like I don't know the ins and outs of this. I've never used it. But from a business perspective, they have a vested interest in the fact that there were many people that were using DAS to bypass buying Genie Plus. So from a business perspective, they were losing money. Now, you can disagree or agree with the whole idea of Genie Plus. That's a different conversation. But from this standpoint here, this is one reason why they're making the change. There's also some stuff I saw interesting enough where they could have some legal issues if they knew about this and didn't address it because, essentially you're selling a product that you almost know and it wasn't working. I mean, people talk about it all the time. And where like the lightning lane was longer than the standby lane. Mm-hmm. And you can't in good conscience really sell a product that doesn't work to people. And
whatever the reason is for that, when that does happen. So say a ride goes down and a whole bunch of people come to the lightning lane to redeem their Genie Plus or their DAS or whatever. It sometimes can back up the line.
It can, for sure.
And like whatever the reason is, if you see like the standby is a short line, but lightning lane is all the way back behind it, that perception does not look good.
It doesn't.
It doesn't look good at all.
Well, we've talked about before. I've had my issues with Genie Plus from the get-go. They've talked about last year going to tweak that system. I've yet to hear anything else about it since then. Now, I don't know if this is part of them tweaking that system. Now, that's something I did think about. They talked about last year. They said they're going to tweak the Genie Plus system, but they haven't said anything directly about Genie Plus. But by tweaking the DAS system, this does obviously affect Genie Plus.
Yeah.
So I think they had a problem on their hands. They knew they had to do something about, and it just comes down to just do it now, go hard. Now, what's interesting is a lot of people didn't, like when Universal implemented a similar system, a lot of people had a lot of backlash about Universal. But from what I've seen, Universal is actually allowing more people to get like their DAS pass versus what Disney is. Like
that is correct.
Disney's actually going more hardcore than Universal about this.
Yeah, they are.
So I wonder if part of me thinks maybe Disney does it this intense to then maybe say, okay, and end up maybe somewhere in the middle.
That's what I think. I think the pendulum was all the way, let's say, to the left when we were pretty much accepting anybody that said whatever. And then now it's going to swing all the way to the right and almost, hardly anybody's getting accepted. And it's going to settle. The pendulum is going to settle somewhere in the middle. And that is just as my opinion. Like that they're making all these changes, but I think we're going to see more changes as like they're going to like lax up a little bit. I don't know how. and I don't even know if I'm correct, but I would think that maybe happened just based on all the stuff that I read and saw in the last couple days.
They could, and that could be part of. I don't know if you're talking a major corporation having a nuanced strategy like that. I don't know if they really would. Yeah. But as it stands now, I mean, basically what they're telling most people, and the main, especially people that were, apparently the rumor was that tour groups and these people were using irritable bowel syndrome as the excuse to get DAS many times. So things of that nature, what they're doing now is essentially you can get out of line to get your place back in line if you need to leave the line.
So they're yes. So what they have said specifically, and this is what Disney has said, they will does not qualify. Is PTSD, ADHD, social anxiety, and any other cognitive or mental health disability. Physical disabilities have not changed, like those needing a mobility scooter, wheelchair, crutches, or the sort. Other physical disabilities include IBS, Crohn's disease, and diabetes. Also, cancer is not a qualifier. And you're right. A lot of people that were abusing the system were using things like IBS or Crohn's or social anxiety, because that is like a hidden
thing.
How you gotta diagnose. You can't really, you don't actually see that in the person just by looking at them. So I think that their way to address the abuse is just to say, okay, no more physical anything, because anybody that had any kind of physical disability needed like physical accommodations, they were basically saying, and I'm not going to speak for all cast members. Obviously, this is just what I've been reading. They were saying, you just get a scooter, get a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like if you need to get out of line or whatever, you can do that too and return back to the queue. Again, I'm not sure that's how that's going to work.
That's the thing about this.
I don't know. I'm still unclear about that.
So just
one.
being from a business perspective, I understand. Okay, they're wanting to limit this because there's abuse going on. So obviously, it'll be interesting to see Genie Plus. Like what'll be really interesting is the next quarter report, if they see like more sales of Genie Plus. That'll be interesting to see. Or people get mad and they just don't go. There were some people saying they weren't going to go anymore. I don't know, but so they're doing that, and then you have this. How does it work? Like the lines are not set up for people to come in and out of them, especially if you have multiple people doing this. So like you would almost have to have checkpoints. But if you think about any of the queues in Disney, I mean, where and how would that even work? I feel like you would be going in and out of a sea of people, because none of them, and they haven't, as far as I know, they haven't done any, construction to add in anything in these queues.
No way, no.
Right. So that part logistically, I'm curious. Like, how is that going to work? How do they get back in line? Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I guess in theory that's a solution, but I feel like, again, I don't understand how they're going to implement this. But so either way, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are very mad.
Yes. And a lot of people are thinking, oh, they're just doing this because they want to increase sales for Genie Plus.
I think that's part of it.
I think that would happen. I think that maybe more people will buy Genie Plus because of this, which if more people buy Genie Plus, that means it'll sell out more often. And then it'll also make the standby lines longer. So, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, well,
I don't know. I mean, technically, okay, you're running the theme park. Like, if you have this massive amount of people using DAS that don't, whatever your qualifications you say, let's say in Disney's point of view, I'm not saying me, and their point of view, they're saying they don't need it. If those people then, part of them will buy, let's say 20% of them end up buying Genie Plus, the rest of them getting standby. Your standby line and your Genie Plus lines would move quicker. Mm-hmm. So potentially this is also a move to make the standbys not as long. Because even though, they want guests to buy Genie Plus, they realistically know not everybody's going to. You still don't want people who paid attendance to go to your parks to be waiting in line longer than they need to.
Right.
Because they're not going to have a good time. They're not going to come back. Mm-hmm. And also, if you know there's abuse going on in something in your business, you have to address it. You can't, like, I think a lot of people, I saw some people online saying like, well, Disney's known about this problem, so like they should have just let it slide. I'm like, well, the problem with that is once you scale that, this would become a never-ending problem, and then everybody has DAS. DAS is no longer anything to get because it doesn't work. And part of the argument I've heard from people saying is it wasn't working to begin with. So I think it's a messy thing that they're going to go through. It'll be interesting to see how this looks if they stay pat on this and they don't compromise, that'll be interesting. But as of now, if you're on the fence, set up your appointment, talk to them. They may deny you. I don't know, but that's how it currently stands. It's definitely a different system than it was before. They're also limiting the amount of people that you can use with it. So there's that as well.
Yeah, you can only have 4, yourself and 3 other people, unless it's a family that's using it.
Somebody like friends with you and things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's messy. But
it's so messy.
But again, having talked to many cast members, they've known about this being an issue for a while. I just think they didn't want to. I think they put off dealing with it. I don't think they wanted to deal with it, and then it became such an issue that they were just forced to okay, we have to do something about this. And how whatever your opinions are, I think there's going to be people mad no matter what. So we'll just see how it plays out. But as of now, that's the policy. It doesn't seem from everything I've heard, the cast members have been basically told this is what it is. There's no exceptions if you don't meet certain requirements, and either get Genie Plus or stand on the line, I guess.
I mean, like I said, Genie Plus is still an option. Yeah, you have to pay for it, but it is still an option. And all of the standby lines are required to be ADA compliant.
Yes, that's the other thing too. They are ADA compliant in the lines.
That's so that is something to think of. So if it's a physical issue that you have, yes, you can bring in a scooter or a wheelchair if you need it. Obviously everybody's everybody that has a disability or a special need is all different. It all depends, but at the very least, if that's something that is something you need for a mobility thing, then they do make that requirement.
Yeah.
And they never said it's going to be perfect. They try to make sure everybody's happy, but that's pretty impossible.
Well, yeah, in one of these situations, I think you maybe just understand people are just going to be mad. And I've kind of always said if they're going to get mad, you might as well go as if they really want to clean it up, and it seems like they really want to clean it up, this is the way you would go with it. And, you would understand they're probably going to get a lot of, we'll just say feedback for a period of time, but they're probably thinking, okay, we'll get through this period of time and then people will adjust and they'll move on, which more than likely they will.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
We will see.
A lot of mad people out there.
There are. We'll see. But anyways, if you're going on a trip and you normally use DAS or you're looking to maybe use it, just how do you book a thing? Do you go on the website to do it?
Yeah, you just go to the website, and I can put it in the show notes if you guys want to do it. But it tells you exactly how to do it and how to apply for it. But it's all through the app.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go on that part. All right. Next news story we have is the Epcot Disney Vacation Club Lounge is closing June 2nd for refurbishment and is scheduled to reopen July 14th.
Yeah, so the Odyssey will have a temporary DVC only area set up while this is going on. And this is actually one of the story that we had talked about. They had filed permits for something to do with Imagination Pavilion. And we're guessing. We're like, what could it be for? Well, it's for this. It's for the DVC lounge. So we don't know what kind of refurbishment. We don't know if it's going to be like an overhaul or just need some sprucing up. No idea. So.
Well, I think if you recall when we talked about this, I said this was not going to be for anything to do with that ride.
Right. We both agreed.
And in recommendation for that, somebody wrote a little ditty that for these times that it happened. I don't know. Here, what do you guys think here? Just
crazy. Said he was out his mind, but Jared was humble, never want to be an eye. He dropped the knowledge, dropped it like a bomb. All these years later, his wisdom still absorbed.
Listen, I'm just saying. Someone wrote a rap song about some of the things I said. I don't know. And no, that was not at all AI. I did not find an AI song tool and play with that for a while.
No way. You would never.
I'm just saying. Somebody just sent it over. I don't know what to say. Anyways.
Oh, you and your ways. Okay.
All right. Next story we have is interesting. There is a permit that Disney filed that says there will be an all-new main entrance to the Polynesian Resort.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty interested about this just because if you've ever driven or taken a bus into Polynesian, it's a mess. Like it's so busy over that whole section, and they're in the process of like redoing a lot of that road already, and like it's going to be changing. But they're moving the entrance from where it currently is over toward Floridian Way or World Drive or whatever they're calling it, over to that side. So like more toward the back of that parking lot.
Yeah,
which is interesting. And so the original like entrance is now just going to be a bus lane, and the buses are going to have a turnaround instead of having to go through the porte cochere, which is good. Mm-hmm. So they're changing that whole thing, but also they're making it a roundabout over a little bit south on World Drive, and one of the like pathways or one of the exits from the roundabout is through the cast member parking lot at TTC. So it's like interesting. I'm gonna put this all in the show notes so you guys can see. But I think this is really gonna change that whole area. So
yeah, right now it's a complete mess.
Oh my gosh,
with construction.
It's a mess.
But looking at it, roundabouts for the most part, they flow pretty well.
Yeah,
they do. I think that's not a bad thing to put there. It probably does better with the traffic flow because right there where you currently turn in, there's a crosswalk stoplight right there, and it's such a short entryway. It gets backed up very easily. Like if there's 4 cars, you get a little backup there, which in that road right there is only a 2-lane road.
Yeah.
So I think putting it down here, they'll probably have a lot more room for people to drive up and give them space to get in. So probably a good move with that. So
yeah,
I would say when it's done, it'll be nice. Right now, if you don't have to go back here, don't. It is a mess, but yeah.
Exactly. And like, yeah, it's going to be even worse. I mean, especially with the Poly Tower still having construction, and yeah, it's just.
Well, I think that's probably why they're doing this, because they're going to have they're having a whole other section of the hotel in there. They're going to have more people coming in. So you've got to be able to handle them. And like you said, the Polynesian, I love the Polynesian, but getting in there sometimes it doesn't have a good flow. Put it that way.
Not a good flow.
So
exactly.
This could potentially fix that problem.
Yes. So anyway, that is happening.
Yes. All right. Next news story we have is Rockin' Roller Coaster reopened July 27th from a lengthy refurb, and Aerosmith is still part of the ride.
As far as we know. Maybe it's not.
Here's a question. I'm not saying this happened. This is probably like 99% sure this won't happen. But let's say Rockin' Roller Coaster reopens and Aerosmith isn't a part of it. Do you think anybody really cares?
Well, I think some people would care. I don't know how.
I felt like for a long time, Aerosmith has not been a big band for probably at the very least a good part of a decade or longer.
Are they still relevant? Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of like, if you're going to name any band that has a theme park ride, like they're part of it, I feel like it would take people a long time before they guess, if they do nothing about it, before they would guess Aerosmith.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could just replace it. Maybe you have a rotating group of things, like, I don't know, Creed. And then, I mean, if you put in like a Taylor Swift, the Swifties would lose their minds. But
I don't think that it goes in there very well.
I don't think Aerosmith goes in there now. But either way, or you just had no band and you just had you're on something. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm not saying they're going to.
AI generated music. Go into an AI concert.
You know the scary thing about it is when I was playing with an AI music tool, it has this part where you can like select a genre and it'll play you samples.
Yeah.
Some of it was, I was like, I would listen to this. Like it sounded real.
So scary.
It's frightening. I was like, like at first I didn't think, I was like, well, that can't be AI. And I was looking at it and it was like, it legitimately. So
that's crazy.
You joke about that. You give that 5 years. You could just have an AI generated part of it. But anyways.
Yikes.
If you're a fan of Rockin' Roller Coaster, you can enjoy it again on July 27th.
Yeehaw. I don't ride that anymore, so it doesn't matter to me. I can't ride it anymore.
I've never ridden it, but
I can't go upside down.
I mean,
no more.
Anyways, that's true. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Next story we have is just a little update here. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party on Halloween night has sold out already. So
yeah, so it sold out yesterday, 2 days ago. I think it was either Monday or Tuesday. And last year it sold out on July 3rd. So we're a little bit above the timeline here.
I'm a little surprised because we were talking about this yesterday. I'm like, for a family of 4, you're talking that's over $1,000 after taxes without discounts.
Yeah, it's $199 per person. So you add taxes in, you're getting close to 1,000. Yeah,
and we've talked about before. Like, I think the Halloween party and the Christmas party, they're a good time. They're fine. They're always enjoyable. I think on the repeatability, if you've done them before, I think they don't change a lot from year to year. So your repeatability, again, if you enjoy it, that's fine. But in terms of that, it's like, I don't know. If you've done it before, what's the urgency to do it the next year following? But I just, at $1,000, now obviously value is different people, but I would have a hard time saying it's worth it at that price point. Like, it's an enjoyable thing with your family, and I get that, and we've always had a good time with the kids, but man, like, that's a lot of money to shell out for a 5-hour party.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
I mean, yeah, you get candy, and again, it's a good time, but yeah. But anyways, it has sold out. So if you wanted to go on Halloween night, which was the most expensive night of the entire run of the party,
I think, the last couple of parties are the most expensive. That one's obviously the most popular. It always sells out first, and usually the next party to sell out will be the first one. So if you're looking to go on the first party night, which is August 9th, you may want to get your ticket now.
Well, we'll see what the other ones do. But anyways, that is that. If you want to go on Halloween night, you are out of luck there.
SOL.
Yeah. All right. The last story we have is, it pertains to the parks and the movies, but it's interesting. So we'll talk about it real quick. There is a new movie apparently in development from Disney based on Club 33.
Yeah, so here's the story, I guess. So for Club 33, the story centers on Kim, a young aspiring detective living in present-day New York, who receives a mysterious invite to the highly secretive Club 33. In this case, it's a magical and exclusive dining club that exists outside of time and space. The club's members are the greatest and most iconic members from the past, geniuses, royalty, and history makers. When a murder is committed moments after her arrival, the patrons look to Kim to solve it. Kim, who despite her brilliance can't seem to get out of her own way, must rise to the occasion and find a way to capture the criminal amidst the greatest minds history has to offer.
No, God! No, God!
What's wrong with that? It's weird that they're incorporating Club 33. Like, I mean, you could just do any.
I think they're
club.
They're trying so hard to force the park stuff into movies. Like, the only one that's worked is Pirates, and let's be really honest, that worked because
Haunted Mansion wasn't bad. I liked that movie.
It did not make money though.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of making money, I mean, Pirates worked because of Johnny Depp. Let's be really honest. That's why those movies worked.
That was a big part.
Yeah. So like. I mean, a murder mystery is fine. Like, those can be enjoyable movies. The whole putting it into Club 33, I just feel like it's going to seem ham-fisted and, like, why? Except for placating, like, the Disney crowd.
Sure.
Which will like it, but I don't know. That script, when that you're saying that synopsis, I'm sort of like, okay, like, whatever.
As someone that likes a good murder mystery, like a mystery, remember we did that murder mystery dinner thing?
What?
When we first got married.
We did?
Yeah. We went to like one of those dinners, like sat at a table. Did I not go with you?
Wow. Who did you go with, your other husband?
No, it didn't. No.
I mean, well, I don't think it was with me, but I've never done one of these. But I mean, if we're being honest, and like, I've had my critiques about the Disney movies, and I've said for a while, they should go back to making more like lighthearted, fun type movies like National Treasures and movies that used to, like, basically what they were known for really before Marvel stuff came around. When you look at them historically, it was like animation and just like family friendly, lighthearted movies. So if this is along those lines, I'm not against it necessarily. It seems, again, the synopsis was a little especially linking with Club 33. And if we remember, they kind of already... This sounds kind of similar to like Tomorrowland with remember with George Clooney?
Yeah.
Which I actually kind of liked that movie, but it did not do well.
Wait, it's the same as Tomorrowland?
Well, I just mean in terms of they're using an in-park property, applying it to a movie, like it's a different concept and stuff like that. Like, again, I thought that movie was not terrible. I actually kind of enjoyed it. but I don't remember. I remember it didn't make money though. So
yeah,
we'll see. But anyways, I just thought it was weird that it was linked to Club 33, especially because it's like existing club. Like it's just, I don't know. Either way, now we'll see if it actually happens, because sometimes movies get in development and nothing happens with them. So
that's true.
We will see.
That does happen.
But yeah, so all right, well that's it for the news. But we do have a poll time, and we have potentially a new poll time jingle.
I'll let you do it.
Okay.
It's poll time. Tell us what you think. Every opinion counts. Come on and link. We're discussing it all. We're taking a stance. Poll time's the segment. Let's give it a chance.
I love that so much.
You didn't sing poll time.
No, I don't have to. No.
AI took your job.
It did take my job.
It took your job.
Sorry, poll time. Okay. So my question.
AI already took one job.
All right.
No.
My question for this week's poll time was: is visiting one of the Walt Disney World water parks important to you during your vacation? 55% said no. Water parks are not my vibe. 41% said maybe. Depends on the time of the year, how long my trip is, who I'm traveling with, etc. And 4% said yes, we visit them every trip. Now, some people did comment that once the 2025 new rule, where once you check the day you check in for your vacation, if you're staying at a Disney resort, you can go to one of the water parks basically for free.
Right.
I think like once that kicks in, I think maybe we'll have more people visiting if it works out with their schedules. But for the most part, yeah, people are not about the water parks. What about you?
I'm not surprised. I mean, historically, like water parks are okay. Although I'm rather spoiled. Like if I'm gonna go to a water park, I would choose Volcano Bay, because I think it's a very, very well done water park.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Disney ones are fine, but water parks are also, they're not for everybody.
That's true. If it was just you and me going to Disney, I would not go to a water park.
Yeah, I don't have much. Yeah, I would much rather, in terms of, I would rather like relax by a pool with a drink or something and just lounge versus riding a bunch of rides on a water park. Personally,
yeah, because if it was just you and me going to like Typhoon, I would probably do like 1 or 2 rides, if that, and then just want to lay out the whole time, which I can do by a pool.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm not surprised by the poll results. That's just why I kind of said too about the whole free water park thing again, that thing is so convoluted in terms of like you can only use it on the day you check in, and this starts next year.
Yeah,
sometime, if you're unfamiliar with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm curious as to how many people will actually utilize that, given already not a lot of people, obviously, according to this poll, not a lot of people are already looking to go to water park to begin with.
It's perceived value.
Exactly. It's a perceived value that Disney can throw out there. And so you get all the, like, it's an easy thing from a marketing standpoint to say you're getting, okay, you take the cost of what's the typical cost of a water park pass?
I mean, it varies, but I mean, they're definitely under $100 a day. So.
Okay. So say if you got a family of, let's say they're 50. Let's just use that as a number here. And so you times that by 4. So you can sit there and say you're getting $200 in value for free. Like they can use that in marketing, which it technically is true, but they're probably also banking on the fact that, it's so limited and not a lot of people are probably going to use it. But
yeah, I mean, if it's extra cost and like your focus is the regular theme parks, then this totally makes sense. Like it's not for everybody, and that's fine.
Yeah, it is interesting that they have 2 water parks though, that they probably will not open at the same time again.
No, probably never again.
Were they ever when they both were open at the same time? Were they ever like both really busy?
Yeah, there was a time.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, okay. At one time they had 3.
Oh, that's right, they did.
Whenever River Country was still kind of operating, but that was like, they closed it shortly after Blizzard Beach opened, and they opened it again when it would be under refurb. Like it was a mess. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I personally don't need 2 water parks. One is just fine, but I actually like Blizzard Beach better because of the theming. But anyway, I just wanted to do that poll time for everybody and see where we're at. But thank you, everybody, for participating in the poll this week. I will have a new poll next week.
Yes, and if you want to be part of the next poll time, you can do that in a couple ways. You can go join the Capture the Magic Facebook community, And it's a great place to just, if you got questions about your trip or you want to interact with other people, listeners of the show and all that stuff like that, you go do that there. You can also follow us over on Instagram at Cap the Magic, as Jamie posts those in the stories over there.
Yes.
So you can vote both places. So, all right. Well, let's talk about our segment today, which is why you may consider booking a trip. We'll say specifically Disney this summer. On the Universal show, we'll talk about the stuff that Universal's offering, but why you may look at it doing it this summer, given there's some things happening that could lure you in. You could save some money. Interesting things like that.
Things are happening.
Things
are happening.
And if you are looking to book a trip, you should head to vacationwithzip.com and book a trip there.
Vacationwithzip.com.
Because we have a great team there that handles it, and they're awesome. So it used to be travelwithzip.com for other reasons.
Don't go there.
Don't go there. Vacationwithzip.com. And don't ask questions about why. Okay. It happened. All right. It changed.
Yeah.
No need to know. Ask me. Jamie, ask me why it happened.
Why did it happen?
Hold on. I missed my mark. Hold on.
Why did it happen?
Well, not yet. You got to give me a second.
Hey, Jared, why did it happen?
Nope. Not that one.
All right, who did this? I'm not mad. I just want to know who did it so I can punish them.
And it wasn't me. It wasn't. Well, maybe. It was
okay. The buildup for that was the payoff was just
Listen,
not
the board
there.
was in front of me,
sorry.
and it was all over the place. Anyways, vacationwithzip.com. There you go.
Vacationwithzip.com.
Is that AI jingle?
It's that. Remember
I
that
should do-
commercial?
I know, but
remember that annoying commercial where they say it over and over again? Now you can get out of your head, and you're like, oh, dang,
I'm gonna
it
do
worked.
I'm gonna tell AI to write me a vacation jingle.
Like 877 cash now. See, I remember that.
You know the one I remember the best.
What?
What was J.G. Wentworth?
877
Yeah,
cash now. I
yeah.
just said it. Yeah.
It's my money, and how'd they say?
It's my money, and I want it now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Do you know when those commercials came on? When you're watching episodes of Maury.
Oh, of course they did. Because people knew they were watching Maury. They're like, these people also want cash settlements.
They also would like some cash.
We know our
Yes.
audience. Anyways, much like Maury, we're going to reveal things. I don't know. I had no segment.
Oh,
there.
that's good. I have the test results. It's true.
Tread carefully right now. Anyways, all right. The first reason you should maybe look at booking a trip to Disney this summer is there are some new attractions that are opening that Disney has not talked about at all.
Yeah, totally in the dark. Just kidding. First one being Tiana's Bayou Adventure, opening June 28th. Obviously, this is very highly publicized. It is. People are very excited about it. It's going to be great having like a water ride again back into Magic Kingdom. And, while I'll miss Splash, I am excited for this new ride to open. The theme over, as we call it. So previews will be leading up to that when it opens on the 28th of June. Hopefully, we're going to try to do it on the 13th and see what it's about.
I'll save my judgment till I ride it. I'm not going to say I'm
Okay,
excited.
Jared rarely gets excited about
No.
anything.
It's just a simple it's like going in and changing a few things in a house, and then they're trying to be like, check out this brand new house, man. I'm like, that's not brand new. I was just in this house last year. I've seen this house before. Anyways,
Wow.
we'll see. I'm not saying one
And
way or the
then-
other. I'm just saying I will check it out and tell you how I honestly feel.
And then Country Bear Jamboree is reopening with some new music and refreshing of characters and, like the costumes and stuff like that. So it'll be opening sometime this summer.
No!
Oh, there it is again.
Okay,
There
fine.
it is again.
Listen, they're bears. I can't in good conscience say I'm excited about that, but
All right.
I will be
Anyway.
curious if you can no longer hear them blink.
Click, 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 click. Yeah.
Freak you out.
Yeah.
All right. Next reason would be Epcot Communicore section is actually going to open, and Epcot will, for all intents and purposes, for this part of construction, will be done.
It'll be complete.
It's opening on June 10th. Other things are
Yeah.
going to be under construction, but this part will be done.
Yeah, so Communicore Plaza is the part that's going to have the live action Celebration and Kanto show. So we're going to see that, and that opens. I think that happens a couple times a day. They were actually putting in some kind of lighting for it today. So it's almost done. They're going to have a Mickey and Friends meet and greet area. And then the Communicore Hall area, from what I understand, will have, I saw a sign said festival favorites section. So it's going to be like more of the festival part, like more festival stuff will be in there. But yeah, so hopefully it'll go off without a bang and it'll be great. And everybody will love it. So June 10th.
Go off with or without a bang?
Wait, what did I say?
You said without. I don't know if you meant
Oh,
that.
I meant go off without a hitch
Oh.
and go off with a bang.
I was starting to say, I had
Both
never...
of those things.
I've never heard the phrase go off without a bang. I was like, is that good or bad?
My brain short circuited without a hitch with a bang. That's what I meant. I just
all I
got
hear
confused.
is hitch and bang.
Hitch and bang.
I don't know what that means, but moving forward. Another reason you may look at going this summer there are after hours events, which we talked about before. Mm-hmm. So after hour events, and what these are is once the park closes, you have 3 hours to ride rides. You get also free ice cream, treats, popcorn, beverages, and sometimes, depending on which one, you can see some characters as well. But it's a great way to basically, I mean, the whole idea of it is to way less people in the parks, and you don't have to wait on rides. I mean, moderately, you might wait 15, 20 minutes depending on the ride, but you get to ride basically whatever you want and stay up late, stay up past your bedtime, I suppose.
Ooh.
But they have them going on over at Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Magic Kingdom this summer.
There's only one date available left for Magic Kingdom. That's June 27th. Epcot has select Thursdays through July 18th. And Hollywood Studios has on most Wednesdays through August 29th. So Hollywood Studios is probably the go-to one for the summer because it has the most dates available.
Yeah, we've done Magic Kingdom a few. Now they used to only do these at Magic Kingdom, and they
Right.
spread them around. We've always enjoyed them at Magic Kingdom. I mean, you can just walk on to basically ride whatever you want multiple times. Again, the ice cream and the beverages part being included is nice.
Yeah,
Definitely makes you feel like you get again, it makes you feel like you get something instead of nickel and diming all the time. So that park, it's included. So
right.
So if you're looking at that, I mean, sometimes people will replace a park day with this. Maybe have a...
that's what I would recommend is if you're going to do an after hours event, don't go to the park earlier because you can get in at 7 on the days that you do an after hours event. So you have a little bit of time before the park closes. But yeah, I wouldn't use a park ticket for this day.
No, yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Unless you already have like an AP or something. But
Well, yeah.
yeah. Another reason you might look at going this summer is, like we mentioned before, the water parks, but H2O Glow Nights are coming back.
Yep, this is similar to what you have at the regular parks, but after hours, 3-hour event held at Typhoon Lagoon, where you can do rides, slides, special food and drinks. There's a DJ with some like dancing cast members and characters, and it's a good time. And the first event takes place May 25th, and it starts at $75 per adult, and that just basically goes on through the summer.
Now, you did it last year, right?
I did it last year. I brought my daughter, and we had a fabulous time. It was great. It was like I think it was the last event of the year. It was over Labor Day, and we had a blast. We rode a ton of slides. We ate all this like ice cream bars and had free popcorn, and did the lazy river a bunch and saw the characters. It was great. We loved it.
So it's almost like an after hours, but at the water parks.
Yes, it is exactly an after hours at the water park. So it was great. So I recommend doing this if you have an extra time to do it. If you want to spend the night at a water park, I mean, it ended at 11, I believe. So I think it went 8 to 11, and we got there at 6.
I remember that because you got home pretty late that night.
Yeah. So she was exhausted, but we were there right until it closed. Like we were having so much fun. So
yeah. Well, good. Well, there you go.
Yes.
That's something else. Now, the next reason is probably one that most people, the next couple, maybe ones that people are going to look at and say these could be really good reasons. But one of the reasons being that lower crowds are anticipated this summer. And we know that from now, a lot of times this is speculation, but Bob Iger himself said in the earnings call last week that they were expecting lower than usual crowds this summer. So, and they've also, which we'll talk about a little bit next point. We'll just lead right into it. There are lots of discounts for tickets, dining deals, and other things like that going on.
Hotels.
Basically in response to this. So whenever they anticipate lower crowds, you can see stuff like this. Now, the reasons for this, a lot. We don't have to go into the reasons of it necessarily, but if you are looking to go and you're on the fence about it, the crowds are anticipated to be lower this summer. Granted, it's going to be hot, but you can get some pretty good deals this summer. So what are some of the deals that they got going on?
So you can do, there's like a free dining deal, there's DVC deals, there's annual pass holder hotel discounts, there's Florida resident hotel discounts, there's Disney Visa card discounts, some on dining. I mean, you will save at least 20 to 25%, even if you don't qualify for any of those extra things that I just said. They also have a special resident 4-day ticket that you can get, 4-day 4-park, 3-day 3-park. I mean, like there are so many. So I'm going to link this in the show notes so you can take a look, but there's a ton. There's a ton of discounts and they go throughout the summer.
Yeah.
And into the fall, actually.
They've rolled out quite a bit on more than usual for sure.
So there was a time that they did not run deals during the summer at all. Like it was rare to find a discount during the summer.
Yeah.
You would get maybe 10 or 20% as an annual pass holder. So that's changed.
Yeah, for sure. All right. The next one we have is there is a 30th anniversary of Lion King celebration going on at Animal Kingdom this summer.
Yes. I believe it starts on June 10th. But they've already rolled out a bunch of the special merchandise they have. They'll also have some food and drinks that will be special for that, and some special meet and greets. Like right now, I think you can meet Timon and Rafiki, which I don't think you can really meet Rafiki in too many places. So he's out and about, and just some special stuff like that going on for the anniversary.
Okay. And another thing is there, obviously some new rides, but there is a new show, interestingly enough, at Disney Springs. So there's a new drone show, which it's free to go to because it's at Disney Springs. Yeah. But this is called Dreams That Soar. I'm curious about this. They show a little sneak peek of this, what it looks like.
Yeah.
But this begins May 24th on the west side of Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm. And it lasts about 9 minutes, I believe, and features 800 drones forming into scenes from Peter Pan, WALL-E, Coco, Dumbo, Big Hero 6, and a lot more. That was just a little list there. They did do a cast member performance or show on Tuesday night. And so if you are interested, you can see a video of that online. But I haven't watched it yet because I don't want to. But so it looks like it would be pretty cool, but I'm excited to see it. So I think we're going to try and see it on Saturday.
That they said what time it's at?
9 and 10:45.
Okay.
9 and 10:45 is the showtime. So pretty late for the littles, but it has to be dark enough. So
true.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not often that you can actually do something at Disney for free completely. Like you technically, this doesn't. I mean, other than just getting there, you can just walk into Disney Springs and see it. So
exactly.
That's kind of a rare thing. So.
I'm just curious to know, like, I know there's places along the west side where you can stand and watch it, like how busy those places will be, like especially at first.
I think at first it's going to be very busy.
Yeah.
As the summer goes on, maybe not as much, depending on if it's a good show. I mean, it depends on what type of show. If it's a really good show, I could see it being something that actually draws people over there. I think that'll be the interesting thing if this is a really good show. How does that impact? Do people go out of their way to go to Disney Springs at night? Versus being in the parks, like that's an interesting little thing there, but we'll see. But yeah, that's going on starting May 24th, and then there are some seasonal events that we talked about. There's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which starts August 9th,
which is in the summer.
Halloween in the summer is that, and there's also the Food and Wine Festival beginning August 30th, which technically is the summer, but if you're going to go the tail end of the summer, you can check that out there. And one thing we didn't really put it in here, but I always enjoy, and we did this last year when my brother came in, as we stayed at like Wilderness Lodge, but like I've always enjoyed more than, I know it's Florida, you can basically swim year round, but there's always something nice I do enjoy about swimming at night.
Yes.
Like, especially if you're staying, like when we all stayed at Wilderness Lodge area, and like swimming at the pool at night, because it's still warm. You're not,
last July.
Yeah, you're not cold. There's stuff to do. Like I really enjoy swimming at night and just enjoying, like you go to the parks, you come back, and you still hang out because the pools will be open till
at least 10 or 11.
Yeah, I would say a lot of times at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think 11 during the summer. Yeah, that's a good point. It's super hot in the summer. That's not a lie. I will not lie to you about that.
People accuse you of lying about
scorcher.
that.
No, some people are like, "Is it so hot in the summer?" I'm like, "It is. It is very hot." I don't especially like being in the parks for so long during the summer, so pool days are super essential super essential. So I'd rather spend like maybe an hour or 2 or 3. Again, we're a pass holder, so it's like different for us, but just spend like a couple hours in the parks and then head to the pool. Like that sounds what sounds good to me during the summer, you know?
Yeah, I don't really have much desire to be in a scorching hot theme park at 2:00 in the afternoon if I can avoid it.
And then you do those after hours events, and you know.
That is a good point. If you want to stay out of the heat, it's you know, it's still going to be warm, but you're not going to have the sun beating down on you all day.
Absolutely. Makes a big difference. So
it does. Well, yeah, like I said, that's all kind of the reasons we're in the list. Like a lot of people end up asking us being in the summer, okay, what's going on? So it's kind of a list of all the things going on in the summer. Again, there are some new things happening, but you can also save some money just from the fact that they're running all the discounts they're running and everything like that. So they could end up doing more. I was kind of surprised at the amount of discounts they have been running. I mean, depending on which one you get, I mean, you can go to a lot of the parks for easily under $100 a day, which is nowadays is very cheap for Disney.
Oh yeah, and they're doing the same thing in Disneyland.
Okay, yeah.
That's even more shocking because they don't usually run those kind of deals in the summer in Disneyland.
Yeah.
So interesting to see all that stuff going on. But again, great for the customer that likes to go to Disney all the time. In this summer, and you'll get a lot of good deals. So
it's true. And again, if you're curious of what a trip might look like or could cost or anything like that, you can head over to vacationwithzip.com. Just fill out a form there, and you can see what that. And there's no pressure there. See what it might cost and stuff like that. Now, in the next Universal show, there are some things also coming to Universal Studios this summer. So if you want to do a Universal and Disney trip, there's actually quite a bit of stuff opening up at Universal. We'll talk about the Universal show on either this Monday or next Monday.
Yeah.
We'll go over that as well. But this one just pertains to Disney. So anything else you want to add about, did we get any reasons or deals or?
Not that I can think of. Just that I'll put it in the show notes, but there's tons of special offers going on and discounts and stuff. So definitely check those out. And if you don't want to do the work, vacationwithzip.com.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
They will do the work for you.
That's true.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for the show. Be sure to check us out on social media over at Cap the Magic everywhere except for TikTok. We were at Capture the Magic on there. And then if you want to check video versions of the show, you can go to CTM Podcast over on YouTube. And be sure to check out the main YouTube channel at Cap the Magic there. And we just had an Epic Universe construction video and got some other videos coming out there as well. And if you want even more content, you can check out the other shows on the network where we have the CTM Universal show, where we talk about Universal Studios. And that is about twice a month right now. So the next one there will probably be 2 weeks.
No, we're going to do it on Monday because we're doing DreamWorks Land preview this weekend.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So we want to get that out as soon as we can.
What was that hand motion you just
That
did?
Was, who dances like that? The Wild and Crazy Guys from SNL.
For those that didn't see it, I saw it. I was like, what is that motion?
I just did it. Yeah.
Anyways, yes, Monday we'll talk about DreamWorks Land and check out all of that and everything like that. And Jamie has Trip Tales as well, which is her trip report show. When's the next one there coming out?
So that one is probably going to come out on Tuesday. Again, a little bit of a scheduling issue with one of my guests. So I think I'm going to be able to get the next one out on Tuesday, maybe Monday also. I don't know if I want to do 2 episodes on the same day though. So,
probably not.
So probably Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that will do it for the show. So thank you everybody for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.